Hi guys, thanks again for tuning in once again. Today I've got Siobhan with me. And Siobhan is a very busy person right now because she is not only a mum and was due to be married round about now, but she's also a virtual assistant. And what that means is you're a PA, but a PA online. The best person to talk about that right now is the lady herself. So Siobhan, how are we doing right now?
Yeah, doing really well. Keeping busy, as you said. Was due to go to Brazil a few weeks ago to get married. Had to change those plans. With regards to work, I think there's definitely a demand for online business support because all of us are now working from home, whether we like it or not. That's something that I am used to. So yeah, just looking at how I can help business owners move their business online or assist them throughout the process.
Yeah. I mean, right now I think it must be very kind of, well, not only turbulent, but kind of what direction is this all going? I think the virtual world is coming into its own right now, and I think we've probably progressed virtually by about 10, if not more, years in the space of a matter of 6 weeks, which is insane. I mean, the world was not ready, really, um, in a mental capacity to go as far online as we now are. But hey, human race
Yeah,
adapted very quickly. Um,
definitely.
so, what kind of plans have you got moving into this?
Yeah, so um, I can definitely identify with what you're saying. I mean, some of my clients weren't ready. Obviously, my clients are open-minded to working with virtual assistants, or they wouldn't be working with me. But some people, I've assisted them with moving their courses or workshops online. So
Yeah.
events they had that were due to take place, as opposed to cancelling them, we've thought, had a look at their business, looked at how we can move it online using tools. A lot of clients weren't au fait with Zoom. So I think the whole world has just got used to using video conferencing,
Mm.
whether it's for personal or business. And my plan is to just continue to support the existing clients, offer flexible support around their business as it changes, but also to continue to grow my business because I work with a team of VAs. So we've looked at the services that might be required now, helping businesses move online, setting up workshops and events online, courses and so on. So just adapting the services to suit the client's needs.
That's fantastic. And I mean, was that kind of something that you had already lined up, or did you pretty much sit there and think, whoa, I've got to adapt quickly and my client's got to adapt quickly? How did that come? Yeah, was that
Yeah.
already in place before lockdown?
Well, it's a service that we were able to offer our clients before, and some were utilising it. But it's a case of educating the existing client base that this is possible. Don't panic. Not everything needs to cancel. Some
No.
things do, but not everything needs to cancel. So it's a case of hand holding. So definitely increasing that area of the business, as opposed to, because I offer event management, which would sometimes be physically on site in London at a hotel or conferencing. So it's a case of just utilising the capabilities that we already had and focusing in that area.
Yeah, I mean, the tools are there, you already have the skills to be able to organise this stuff. So yeah,
Yeah,
why not? And you clearly obviously know your way around the virtual world. It makes
yeah,
perfect sense. And like personally with our business as well, we're doing as much as we can online. I think with the fitness world now, there's a lot of free stuff out there, and I think again the main thing with our clientele, and like you're saying, it is more about the hand-holding experience, the making sure people are being accountable, they're being guided when it comes to our stuff. But I think what you're doing solves so many problems, and it could probably solve a problem for me going forward as well. But we'll talk to you about that
yeah.
later. So let's have a look at your home life then. What's it like in your household right now?
Well, I think it's definitely a lot busier during the days because usually it would be me working upstairs. My other half is not working at the moment. It's just the temporary. The site that he works on has been closed down, so it's different having him around, but it's great as well. I'm still able to focus on my business, which is wonderful because we have an au pair that lives with us, and
Mhm.
she's continued to stay here and provide that support. So that's great. So in terms of the the work-life balance, I've still been able to maintain it, which I'm really, really grateful for, because I still have her here to help. And I guess I've already been set up. You know, I have my office here at home that I'm speaking to you from now. So for me, it's been quite a smooth transition. I have been able to reach out to other people to offer advice on how they adapt, because there's lots of office PAs that are now working in the virtual world that they don't really have the confidence or the setup to do it at home.
And would you say there's a lot of automation involved in that? Is it mostly different? What kind of tools and stuff are you guys using right now that are helping?
Yeah, so there are lots of different, because I worked as an executive assistant in the city for about 15 years prior to setting up my business. So I know there is a big difference. You know, you definitely have the organizational skills and diary management and so on, but there's tools that you need to use within the virtual world. For example, we touched on already Zoom. We also use time tracking software, which is, I use Toggle, for example, and that's really helpful to keep you on task. You know, I really recommend that clients use this even for themselves if they want to be mindful of how's their week going, where are they wasting time, how can they be more efficient, particularly if you're billing a client like myself. You know, I can record the time that's spent each week, each month, each day if necessary, and report that back. In terms of other tools, there's lots of tools for online courses that can be set up using Teachably. We also set up webinars. I mean, you name it, there's something for everything. But a good project management tool as well that I use is Trello, where you can just plan out your week, your work, or the projects that you're working on.
How's that spelled, Trello?
Trello, Trello. Another version of that is Asana. And they're tools where people can look visually at the projects that they've got going on, and you can even work with your team on that, so you can assign tasks, and that really helps people to remain connected, and you can see where a project is at without needing to be sat in the same office as someone.
Brilliant.
And that's really helpful, and that's something that probably other people that weren't familiar in the virtual world may not have used before. But there are tools where you don't need to physically be sat beside someone, and I think people are seeing the merit of that now. Working in the virtual world, they've been forced to split up their offices remotely, and it's about having that confidence that people are delivering without being micromanaged.
I mean, it's essentially micromanagement software, which is absolutely fantastic. And I absolutely hate the fact I've never known anything about it in my well, you know, I've been in business for about 14, how old am I now? Yeah, but no longer, about 15 years now.
Wow.
In some respects, pretty much my entire adult life. And obviously this stuff is fairly new, but I'm such a dinosaur when it comes to tech. You know, there's people in their 60s giving me advice on tech because I'm so useless. And it is, honestly, it's bad because I have to adapt. Unless not, if I don't adapt, I'll be gone. So that's it.
So it's moving with the times, and you know, I've found, you know, I'm the type of person that wants to add value and feel that I'm helping people, and that's what gets me going. And you know, I feel like it does. It's just rewarding, isn't it? It's not just monetary. It's about feeling rewarded in your job. And I love being able to hold clients' hands through this journey. Like usually when clients come on board working with us, you know, we'll assign them a Trello board, and then, I've not used that before, but then they can just see updates. It saves on lots of emails back and forth, you know, having to chase people. You can just see visually where a project's at. So there are lots of tools out there for people to use, and I think it's a case of not being afraid of them. Have a play around with them. I'm sure you'll find something that's useful for you. I think it can seem overwhelming when people have been forced into this situation, but I think if people take just step by step, reach out, ask for advice. You know, I've been talking to people that aren't my clients, just offering tips and advice, and there's lots of information out there to utilize.
Yeah, that's incredible. You know, this is a breath of fresh air to hear that quite a lot of people I've managed to interview have been giving back at this time as well, which has been so great to hear, and they've been looking after their clients. And I think anyone that wants to evolve through this period needs to realise that there's people out there that are absolutely petrified of what's going on, especially business owners. And if you've got anything to do with business owners, if you have anything if your job is to support, then just keep supporting as much as you can.
Definitely.
What was it that pushed you into this world, if you
Mm.
like? What made you take the leap into business?
Yeah, so this Friday will be my second year anniversary in this business. And what motivated me initially, I'd always wanted to set up my business. I'd thought about it probably 5 years prior, but there was always the fear into the unknown. I was leaving a regular, decent salary in the city. The final push to do that was having my daughter. Although I touched on earlier, I do have childcare in place. I still wanted to not only have my own business to inspire her that anything's possible that she can achieve, but also I wanted to be around in her life. I didn't want to come home just to put her to bed. You know, I
Mm.
want to be able to have breakfast with her. I want to have that work-life balance. And then I realized by the work that I'm able to offer, I had the existing skill set as an executive assistant. So I thought, putting that to best use, how can I be of service to other business owners that maybe aren't as tech savvy?
Mm.
Maybe they have a small business and they can't afford to hire someone full-time as an employee, or don't want to, but they want that professional feel to their business, you know, to be able to copy in their assistant, to be able to help them. So I knew that I could add value in that way, whilst gaining work-life balance myself.
Amazing, amazing. I mean, it's, such a relevant topic right now, especially with how just before this happened, and so many people I've been speaking to about this were saying like life was absolutely going at 150 mile an hour. Um,
Yeah.
every business owner I was speaking to has pretty much said they were on top of their game. Anyone that was working, either a lot of people in construction and stuff said that they had orders backed up and they knew that they had stuff going on and on and on. And everyone who ever came into my office, into what I do, was saying the same thing over and over. Haven't got time, haven't got time, haven't got time.
Yeah.
Can't use the gym, haven't got time to be healthy, haven't got time for diet, exercise. And I think that a service that you provide would really help people when it comes to kind of taking a step back and looking at, well, if you're going to do all this and not look after yourself, then you can't do this for long.
Definitely. That's something, definitely I think we can all resonate with at certain points in our life, and some people all of their life. And then it's a case of, yeah, it's unhealthy. You know, we all have a break point. And I think I can even identify with that. I'm a very driven person.
Mm.
And this has caused me to stop, reevaluate how best I use my own time, and incorporating fitness, as you touched on. I think it's so important for mental health, as well as health, and I've definitely adopted that in lockdown, more so. But in terms of the work that I offer, and the services, I think it's giving clients back that work-life balance is rewarding to me as well, because I know how much I needed it. It was a motivator in setting up my own business. And I think other people want to work for themselves, not be a slave to the machine, but then they find that they are still being a slave to the machine. They're still doing it. They're still working like a dog. And they're thinking, yes, I'm earning the money that I wanted, maybe, but why did I do this? I'm not seeing my child grow up. I'm not having the summer holidays. I can't switch off from business. Their wife or partner, or maybe frustrated with them. So I love being able to give them that back. You know, their time poor, and being able to give that back, and they feel renewed excitement about their business then, because they can focus on where their real passion is, not doing the emails and the paperwork and the diary management. So alleviating that is just really rewarding, to be honest with you.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree. We'd recently just got to a point there in my business just before lockdown where I was looking for a full-time management position to take over the majority of duties that I'm dealing with, because we've managed to get that balance sorted, which has taken 10 years to get to.
Right.
And then obviously when this is all over, we're pretty much rebuilding again. So I think that having that in mind, that it can just be snapped away from you that quickly, it's probably going to make me a lot more mindful of my family time and just think, you know what, don't grow at such a rate, hold back just a bit, give everyone the value that they need, but you're doing this so you can do that. You know, you don't sacrifice that so you can do this. Let's talk a bit more about you then. Let's come away from business so much at the moment. What kind of things are you finding that you're adapting to, and what kind of things have you found have helped you during lockdown? Maybe some advice from someone else, or even like fitness stuff that you've tried out.
Yeah, I mean, for me, definitely fitness, as I touched on earlier. I feel like getting up and going for a run or doing a workout at home has hugely helped my mental state. You know, I feel energized. I don't feel trapped, as you know, as it were. Although we are being forced to stay at home, I feel that helps me to release some of that energy, and gets me really focused mentally for the day. So definitely physical exercise. Also meditation, going inside. You know, we can't go out, go inside, really look deep. A lot of the answers are, you know, it sounds very deep, but a lot of the answers are within us. Sometimes we are running at 1,000,000 miles an hour, not stopping to think. And I think there's a lot of power in that, really, just taking that time, that silent time, even if it's just 15 minutes in the morning or evening. It just quietens down the racing mind and helps you have clarity and focus for the day and whatever you need to do. So that's something that's definitely helped me. While I've been busy, I'm also I've got to keep meaning to read books. You know, I love reading, but as we say, don't have the time, all these excuses. So I've renewed my Audible contract, and so I'm utilizing that to just listen to books that are enlightening or self-development, to just work on myself, really, to come out of it a better person in any way that I can.
Amazing. Any good listens stroke reads that you can recommend right now that you've been listening to?
Yeah, definitely. I would say up there is The Chimp Paradox, which is a fantastic book. You know, to just understand how the mind works, why sometimes we have a inner voice, inner critic, that can self-sabotage us, and how to manage that, really, rather than let it rule us. You know, we can have moments where we act out, and it just keeps us in check. And it's great to understand what makes you tick. I think we can all benefit from that. Another book is The Untethered Soul. Very interesting insight there. So I think they're books for life. Like anyone can pick something up from that. So really recommend that. I recommend meditation as well.
I want to touch
quiet
on
time
that.
with yourself for reflection. You know, a lot of the things that we're hard to decide on, this, that, or the other. You'd be surprised what answers you can find in just 15 minutes. Really, just quiet time.
I mean, moving back to meditation now, it's something I'm very good at mindful exercises, and I'm good at guided meditation, which I don't really think you can mess up guided meditation because you just sit and listen. But I need to learn how to meditate. And, you know, someone said to me once upon a time that, well, the best way to start is to imagine that you're just sitting on the side of a road, and your thoughts are the passing traffic.
Definitely,
I said, you know, that's really helpful. I still can't allow myself to let go of my thoughts. I can't let them run through my mind, which is the hardest thing for me to do right now. And he then, you know, they then said, this was a mindfulness coach. He then said, you know, what you need to do is when you start thinking, you need to start telling yourself you're thinking, let go. And it's something that I can't seem to grip at the moment. Is there any tools or stuff that has helped you in the past with your meditation?
Yeah, I would say it's all about progress, not perfection. I think a lot of people tend to feel like they're failing at meditation because they're thinking of something. I think people think that you sit there like a guru and your mind is totally empty. That's not the case, to be honest with you. It's about definitely being, and something that's touched on the Chimp Paradox and the book Untethered Soul, and that tie in well with this, is it's about, you know, sitting in a seat of consciousness and just being the observer. It's not going into that rabbit hole of the thought, you know. So yeah, you can see the thought and think, okay, yeah, I know I need to make that phone call, right, must do that later. And you've thought about it, and then before I would think, oh, I failed now, oh, I'm rubbish at this, I've started thinking
that's what I do.
Yeah. So you think, but you haven't failed at all. You keep bringing it back. The mind will always pop up thoughts, and just thinking there's little bubbles and they're drifting off. They're coming in and drifting off. It's about not delving deeper and going off for 10 minutes into that tangent. That's what I would say. And it's just bringing it in. And I definitely find a good tool is to focus, do breath work. You know, breathe in deeply, hold your breath at the end, and then slowly let go and pause on the outtake as well. So even while you're focusing on that, it's quite hard to think of other things.
Yeah, I use that for sleep, and I use that alongside body scanning as well to get to sleep at night.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, that has been a godsend. I think there was a military guy that did a talk on it. I watched it on YouTube. I think I had a load of stuff playing in the background on
Yeah.
repeat, you know, Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk, and
Yeah.
stuff just on repeat, and then suddenly it ends up going wherever, doesn't it? And then a
Yeah.
mindfulness coach turned up, and then this army guy was going through that as well, which has helped me know it
Good.
since I learned that, which is fantastic. So tell me about any kind of things that you're doing as a family now, like
Mm.
any new things or any experiments that you've done as a team, or
Yeah.
any little life hacks that you've got.
Yeah, well, I do love to cook, so does my other half, but again, busy. So just usually something quick. So definitely on the weekend, something just fun that we're doing is we love to go out for dinner. Obviously, we
Yeah.
can't do that now. So we're doing our own theme night. Last week was Indian night, so the full
Wow.
work, so cooking Indian from scratch, getting recipes online, and it's quite therapeutic doing that, and then you get to try the amazing food that you've made, and it's a good feeling, isn't it? You know, if you know
Mm.
that you that. So it's taking the time to do that, and then getting my little daughter involved and baking and things like
Yeah.
that on the weekends. It's still, you're doing something together. It's not time to be bored. It's an activity, and you all get to enjoy it at the end, and it's quite fun. Quite a fun thing to do. And then another week will be food from Japan. Another week will be American food. You know, so it's just a theme. It keeps it a bit fun, and it's like how we've considered it as bringing the restaurant inside.
I love that. Every now and then you'll see me squiggling stuff down. That's just me taking
Yeah.
notes on this. I think earlier on when we started getting into meditation and when we started talking about some of the stuff that you're doing, I was really engaged. And I was kind of kicking myself then because I hadn't been taking notes. And you'll normally
Oh,
know.
don't worry, I can summarize.
Oh, good, fantastic. I'm going to need that at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes when you can actually see the whites of my eyes like that, I'm really getting engrossed. So I have to pull myself away
Yeah.
because I understand other people are going to be watching this. Those of you listening, it won't be a problem, but those of you watching will see some funny faces from me. But that's amazing, though. I mean, we are going to be doing something quite similar. I've got a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, my two little girls,
Mm.
and they've decided they're going to do date night for me and
Oh.
mummy tonight, which would be
Oh,
lovely, me and my wife. And I said,
lovely.
I'll put a suit on, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm expecting probably Cocoa Pops and tomato soup for dinner.
Lovely.
But
I love that.
just that kind of stuff, that stuff that brings a family together, and the memories that are going to come from this are
Definitely.
going to be amazing, aren't they? They're going to be amazing.
Yeah, and it's getting the children involved, even touching on the type of work that you do. I mean, workouts. My other half and I have been doing workouts together, and you've got my 2-year-old daughter trying to do mountain climbers, sort of copying
Amazing.
us and jumping on our back. So
Mm.
it's good for her to see us doing these things together, to show that exercise is important. Also, cooking food to see, how does it arrive at your plate. Tasting
Mm.
different foods from around the world is. It's interesting, and talking about the restaurant idea that you mentioned, my sister had said that she'd saw somewhere someone had got their child to have a restaurant feel, so printed out little menus and
Yeah,
opened up the door, like invited them into the restaurant, which is
brilliant.
your living room. So there's lots of fun things you can do.
I love that. That's brilliant. Printing off the
Yeah,
menus and stuff as well.
yeah.
I remember doing stuff similar as a kid where it was breakfast time, and I've always had quite a cheeky entrepreneurial mind, as I like to call it, but it's more just any way to try and make a few quid. And I remember writing out with my brother, who isn't that way inclined at all. He works in the city,
Yeah.
does very well for himself. And I remember writing out the menu and snatching it off him last minute, and then putting prices next to everything, and then charging them for their own breakfast in bed.
I love that. I love that. Definitely entrepreneurial skills from the outset.
Yeah, well, yeah. Whether we ever got the
Yeah.
money or not was another thing. I was very good at
You have
writing
to
for
ask your
money.
mum and dad.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, coming towards when we go back to, I don't think we're ever going to go back to full normality, but going back to as close to normality as possible. I think we are going to be hitting turbulent times, but I can't see that affecting your business really. Are you going to try and, I don't know, double down, 10x from here? What's the plan for you moving forward from a business standpoint?
Yeah. Well, definitely looking to grow the business. I think it does depend on my clients. So if the clients aren't doing well, then we're not there to support them. They're not able to enlist our support. So the main thing is nurturing our relationship with existing clients to help them
Yeah,
to
of
survive
course,
this.
of course,
That's
yeah.
important. And then it's a case of I think doing more work to showcase the work that we can offer, because not everyone is familiar with a virtual assistant, which I was quite surprised about. A couple of new clients I've been working with on some private work, because we also offer life admin support, so on any private PA work, and a couple of them had just never knew that you could have a virtual assistant. So I definitely think it's worth me marketing the business and informing people of the services that we can provide, and then just take it from there to see. I'm hopeful that people will have experienced more of the virtual world now, and will see the benefits of having an assistant that can adapt and help them grow their business within this period, even after post lockdown, because I think a lot of clients will still want to have those Zoom meetings. Not everyone wants to spend the money on flying everyone into London for one board meeting. I think they'll be a bit more open-minded now, to think of how they can save costs, and then they sometimes need someone that's tech savvy, that can manage that for them. So I think we'll just see what happens, continue to support, continue to grow the business, and then just take it from there.
Amazing. That sounds great. So for you, I mean, at the moment then, you haven't really had to massively adapt business-wise, other than the nurturing process, because a lot of your clients are shut down. But I mean, your setup hasn't really had to change too much. What would you say the biggest experience kind of thing you're always going to remember from lockdown is right now?
For me personally, it will be family time. The
Yeah.
quality family time. My other half usually spends a lot of time commuting and long hours, long days. So spending that quality time as a family that I touched on earlier, I think that's just so heartwarming, to be honest with you. And I think it'll be time to reflect on how I've gone inside and looked at myself, good and bad, and worked on what I can improve. I've also done that by utilizing some free coaching that's been available online.
Nice.
That other business owners, coaches that have been offering support to fellow business owners like myself, and I've just grabbed that opportunity with both hands, to be honest, and I think that's a great time that I've looked to self-reflect on myself and my business and the journey that I want to be on. So that's something that I'll remember also.
Amazing. That's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, we will be moving over to a bit of a close now. I like to keep these quite concise, these interviews, and that way people will be able to fit them in their lunch break and stuff. And we never know who's going to be listening in the future. But if you were to give yourself one piece of advice, now knowing what you know, I think week 6 now. I think week 6, something like that. What kind of advice would you give yourself right at the beginning?
Don't panic. I would say don't panic. Initially, I like everyone, oh my God, I'm gonna lose my business. This is gonna happen. Everyone's gonna get ill. Don't panic. Don't watch the news all the time. Trust the process. We will be okay in the end.
Yeah. No, I love that. And if there's one thing that you could kind of give any advice to anybody else right now, what would it be?
Utilize this time. Whilst, don't get me wrong, I like to watch Netflix and everything, but utilize this time. Try and carve out some time to self-reflect and think about your vision for your future.
Oh, nice. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Sorry, I thought I'd accidentally muted myself then. No, I love that. I wanted to hear everything you're saying, and I've got my kids running around shouting and screaming, which is perfect
Lockdown life.
for the podcast that I've got going on. But hey ho, these things happen. I can really, really resonate with a lot of things that you've said there. I love the themed food night idea, spending time with the family, realising that there's at the moment we have an abundance of time with the people that we love, and the fact that, you know, don't panic, it's not going to be as bad as you think. You know, there's nothing we can do about this. Someone in a previous podcast said, you know, there's nothing we can do about stuff that we can do nothing about. You know, so the stuff that we can't do anything about, we can't do anything about. So don't do anything about it. You know, and I think the quicker that we just focus on what we can achieve in these times, the more at peace we're going to be with what's going on. And yeah, you know, there are uncertainties right now, but you know, we can still breathe in, breathe out, and eat. We should be okay.
Acceptance is key, isn't it? Acceptance.
No, I love that. Okay, so we're going to come into a bit of a close now. I really, really appreciate everything that you've spoken to me about. I didn't even get to touch on the fact that you didn't get married this year, which is upsetting. Are you planning on moving that to a different time?
Yeah. I am. I can't set a date. Again, I have to accept that and let it go. At first, I was freaking out. You just have to try and accept what is. As soon as we can travel, we will make plans to go there. But we have to consider if there's a second round of COVID in the winter. So it's just, we have to just wait and see. Literally, we have to wait and see. But we will be going to Brazil. It's a case of when.
Fantastic. Well, look, I really hope that I'll hopefully be seeing some stuff, because I think if we're not already friends on Facebook, I will be adding you. But more importantly, if our viewers / listeners want to get hold of yourself and would like to talk to you about what you do and your services, we will be putting some links in the show notes. But just verbally, whereabouts can we find you, Siobhan?
So you can find me on LinkedIn, Siobhan Mears, or my web address is www.vantagevaltd.com.
Fantastic. And we'll be putting that in the show notes as well, guys, along with Siobhan's bio. Those of you that have listened today, first of all, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time to find out what other people are going through right now during the COVID-19 lockdown. If you have enjoyed this episode, and more importantly, if something has resonated with you and you'd like to share it, please press that share button so other people can have that experience just like you did. Likewise, if you'd like to get in contact with me and you'd like to be on the show, because I'm still on a mission to speak to over 100 people during the COVID-19 lockdown. I think I'm in the 30s now, around about 30, 33 people interviewed. Please do get in contact either via the message button on my Facebook page or via the show notes. Just press the comment button and away you go. Please be kind and please keep it clean, and we'll be seeing you soon. Thanks again.